Okay, for more analysis, we have with us here in the studio is Professor Yan Xuetong, who is an expert on the Sino-US relations and, of course, on the domestic affairs of the US as well. Well, what is your projection for the new administration's foreign policy, especially its policy towards China? Actually, that's what we are most concerned about.
Yeah, from my understanding, actually, the experience or the knowledge of foreign policy is not a required capability for American's president. And Clinton, and Junior Bush, and even Reagan, they all came to the White House without any experience of foreign policy. And they don't know. They never have any experience dealing with the foreign affairs, but then they still can do it. No matter good or bad, so they can manage it. From my understanding, the important thing for the American president is not their knowledge of a specific field. It's the personal character to maintain the balance between different groups. The importance is a personal character to monopolize the international and domestic support. So from my understanding, if Obama listen to his experts...
Professor Yan, we can see on the screen that... John McCain admitting his failure on the screen just now. A bit sad, and he had lost his opportunity of entering the Oval Office. Well, let's get back to our topic of the foreign policy. Since Obama has been confirmed that he has won the election, so specifically, its policy towards China.
Well, I think from my understanding, Obama is really considering to enlarge cooperation with China rather than less than Bush. And but what he concerned to cooperate with China is mainly at this moment, and possibly he gave the very important concern about the climate control and reduce the CO2. And the second, definitely he will consider the financial cooperation to save the market, to save the economy. So in these two fields, I think there's we will see more positive policy toward China rather than negative. But I have to say, and Obama possibly adopt in terms of trade, Obama may possibly adopt a protectionist policy. Well, that's really harmful. And if Obama adopt protectionism, and that means they will set a high tax on the importing of the Chinese goods, and will reduce China's export toward the U.S., and that he will require China to balance the trade surplus as soon as possible, and these will be some troubles. But even this, I don't think that there was a serious problem. So I personally believe, and Obama came to power, and China and U.S. relationship can maintain quite stable.
Thank you very much. Well, that's our guest today, Professor Yan Xuetong from Tsinghua University. Well, thanks a lot for your perspectives. But there's one more thing I want to ask you, actually, before you go. Actually, China policy towards China was not mentioned pretty much like it was mentioned in any other previous elections. In this campaign. Why is that?
Well, we should say the campaign started with the security issues, with troops withdraw from Iraq, and also talking about the power struggles among the major powers. So at that time, they concerned China's rise will compose a threat to the U.S. World dominance, and China's export will reduce the Americans' opportunity of the jobs. But then later on, when the financial crisis occurred, and then everyone noted that the problem for the U.S. is not caused by China, and not because of China's economy growing, so America fell into the financial crisis. That's our own policy.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Yan. Due to our time limit. Well, now for more on the U.S. presidential election, let's cross over to CCTV correspondent Yang Fuqing, standing by in Phoenix, Arizona, the headquarters of the Republican presidential candidate John McCain. Hello, Fuqing.